This painting by Nehemiah Partridge dates to the year 1719, making it the oldest piece in the collection of the Butler Institute of American Art in Youngstown. While the Partridge piece's age distinguishes it from the rest, it's this piece by William Merritt Chase that is the favorite of Executive Director Zona.
The painting is called "Did You Speak to Me?" As if she's turning towards her father, who must have mumbled something to her, and he thought that would be a good title for it. What art historians like about this painting is that it also indicates other works that he had been working on in various stages.
The first museum dedicated solely to the preservation of American art, the Butler is the work of Joseph Green Butler, Jr., a Youngstown industrialist with an eye for art.
Joseph Green Butler, Jr. was one of the earliest collectors of American art, but he did have a fair number of European paintings as well. There was a fire in his home across the street on Wick Avenue, and he lost his first collection.
So Butler vowed to build another collection, this time consisting only of American art.
What do you mean by American art? I said it's art created by Americans.
To build the museum, Butler hired the architectural firm McKim, Mead & White, which had just finished renovating the White House for President Theodore Roosevelt.
When his contemporaries were going to Europe and buying European works, he was in America buying William Merritt Chase, John Singer Sargent, and so many of the wonderful paintings you see in this room.
Today, the entire scope of American art and history can be found in the Butler, from the earliest paintings done by itinerant craftspeople to popular artists of the 20th century, such as Georgia O'Keeffe and Norman Rockwell. The most famous piece in the Butler, Winslow Homer's Snap the Whip, was purchased by Butler after his close friend, President William McKinley from Niles, was assassinated in 1901.
He searched for that painting, found it, and spent an enormous amount of money to acquire it. Now it is the centerpiece of the Butler collection.
The Butler, which is in the midst of its centennial celebration, has gone through several facelifts and additions since its dedication in 1919. In 1987, a $4 million expansion added the Sweeney Children's Gallery, the Hopper Research Library, the Donnell Gallery of Sports, and the Beecher Court. Currently, work is being done to repair the facade of the Butler, says Development Director Rebecca Davis.
That's the final phase of the 4-year project. So I've been seeking funding each year for each phase from local foundations.
45% of the Butler's annual revenues come from investment income from its $25 million endowment. The museum operates on a $2 million budget and employs 22. Almost all the rest of the museum's revenue comes from grants and gifts from donors and foundations.
You try to be a good citizen. You try to make the museum accessible to everyone. And I think ultimately it pays dividends.
To help ensure the museum is accessible to everyone in the community, Zona says he'd like to add a new gallery dedicated to African American art.
In our community, 50% of the people that live here are African American. 50%. And I would really, and I'm seeing more and more African-American families coming through the Butler.
Zona says the reason America became the center of the art world so quickly is because it's a melting pot of cultures and influences. And it's also what makes the Butler's collection so special.
There was an art dealer in New York City who passed away. I got to know and admire him. His name was Ivan Karp. He said to me one day, he said, a visit to the Butler for the art connoisseur is akin to a visit to Mecca. And I never forgot that. We have a lot to be proud of here.
You can read more in the mid-August issue of the Business Journal out now. You can get a copy by clicking subscribe under the Contact Us tab at businessjournaldaily.com. And be sure to check back in the next week for additional videos on the Butler's outreach programs, as well as the archivists and conservators who ensure the collection will be enjoyed for years to come.
717 Credit Union, savings power to give your business an extra boost. Business savings, certificates, and business money market. 717 Credit Union, make your money work as hard as you do.